All right, so welcome to another deep dive where we're ready to take your requests and, like always pull out some of the most fascinating information.
Absolutely.
Today we're going to be talking about, well, it's based on a recent request, actually,
Yeah.
an astrological outlook for March 2025.
Okay.
More specifically, we have a forecast from Lorenzo.
Mm-hmm.
He's an astrologer who is known for making very specific and sometimes startling predictions.
Yeah.
And he's gone ahead and already divided the zodiac signs into winners,
Okay.
losers, and those on thin ice
Wow.
for March.
Okay.
So if you are familiar with your sun sign, you'll find out where you stand in this game of cosmic chance.
What I find interesting right off the bat is Lorenzo's tone.
Okay.
He's not hedging his bets or offering vague interpretations. It's very direct, almost like a cosmic call to action.
Yeah, it definitely has a sense of urgency to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not shying away from the potential negative aspects either.
Okay.
He actually refers to March 2025 as a battlefield, which is a pretty intense way to describe a month.
Absolutely. And astrologically speaking, there's a lot going on in March.
Oh.
He points to Mercury and Venus retrograde, which always brings a certain level of disruption.
Ah, yes. Retrograde periods. Always a little bit of a wild card, even for those of us who don't follow astrology super closely. We've at least heard about Mercury retrograde
Yes.
and its potential for communication mishaps.
Right. And having both Mercury and Venus retrograde at the same time intensifies those themes.
Okay.
But on top of that, we also have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 14th and a solar eclipse in Aries on March 29th.
2 eclipses in 1 month. That sounds like a recipe for some major shakeups.
Eclipses are often seen as catalysts for change. They can bring hidden things to light, accelerate events, and sometimes trigger turning points in our lives. So having 2 eclipses in such a short time frame and in such potent signs is bound to make March a significant month, astrologically speaking.
Okay, so we've got these major players setting the stage for a pretty intense month. Let's get to Lorenzo's predictions.
Okay.
He has identified 4 signs that are poised for success in March if
Oh.
they take the right actions.
Okay.
They are Aries, Scorpio, Gemini, and Aquarius.
Great.
Let's start with Aries,
Okay.
the first sign of the zodiac, known for their bold and fiery nature. What does Lorenzo see for them?
Aries is described as entering a period of unstoppable force in March. Lorenzo sees potential for significant career breakthroughs with possibilities of taking on leadership roles or launching new ventures.
So for those Aries folks out there, March might be the time to go after that promotions, start that business, or just take a leap of faith in their professional lives.
Exactly. Lorenzo emphasizes that Aries needs to be proactive and seize the opportunities that come their way because the energy is there to support their ambitions.
And what about love? Does Lorenzo see any sparks flying for Aries this March?
He's very clear on this. For Aries, genuine relationships will deepen, while those built on illusions or falsehoods will crumble. March will bring a sense of clarity and decisiveness in matters of the heart.
So it sounds like a month of truth and authenticity for Aries, both personally and professionally.
Right.
No time for games or half-hearted efforts.
Exactly. Now let's move on to Scorpio,
Okay.
the enigmatic and intense sign of the zodiac. They're known for their strategic thinking and their ability to navigate complex situations.
Yeah.
What does Lorenzo predict for them?
Well, Scorpio is all about power this March, according to Lorenzo.
Wow.
He predicts the exposure of enemies or hidden agendas.
Okay.
Basically, secrets being revealed and brought to light.
That does sound a bit dramatic, doesn't it? Like something out of a spy movie.
Yeah.
Should Scorpios be watching their backs this March?
Maybe so. But Lorenzo seems to view this as a positive thing overall.
Okay.
He sees it as an opportunity for Scorpios to clear out anyone or anything that's not serving them, making space for more genuine connections and collaborations.
So it's a time for Scorpios to be discerning and strategic about who they allow into their inner circle.
Exactly.
Okay.
And on the career front, Lorenzo predicts major power moves for Scorpio in March. He sees higher-ups finally recognizing their talents and dedication, which could lead to promotions or exciting new job offers.
So it seems that Scorpio's strategic nature might be their biggest asset this March, especially in their careers. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, Lorenzo emphasizes that Scorpios need to be willing to step up and take charge, to assert themselves, and not be afraid to go after what they deserve.
And considering their reputation for being ambitious and resourceful, this could be a time when Scorpios really shine.
Definitely. Now let's shift gears to Gemini, The social butterflies of the zodiac, known for their communication skills and adaptability.
Yes.
What's in store for them this March?
For Gemini, Lorenzo highlights the importance of networking.
Okay.
He sees March as a month where expanding their social circle and making new connections could lead to major career breakthroughs.
That makes sense given Gemini's natural ability to connect with people from all walks of life.
Right.
But didn't you mention earlier that Mercury is going retrograde in March?
Yes.
Wouldn't that make communication more difficult, especially for a sign like Gemini
Yes.
that's so reliant on communication?
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo does acknowledge that. He specifically warns Geminis to be mindful of their words and avoid misunderstandings, as miscommunication is more likely during this time.
Okay.
He advises them to listen carefully, communicate clearly, and maybe double-check those important emails before hitting send.
So it's almost like Gemini needs to be extra mindful and deliberate with their communication this March to make sure their message is being received as intended.
Exactly. But if they can navigate the potential communication hiccups, the connections they make this month could have a significant impact on their career path for the rest of the year, according to Lorenzo.
Wow, so the stakes are pretty high for Gemini this March.
They are.
Okay, we've got Aries taking charge, Scorpio strategizing,
Right.
and Gemini networking their way to success. Now let's talk about Aquarius, the innovative humanitarians of the zodiac.
Yes.
What kind of transformation does Lorenzo see for them this March?
For Aquarius, March is all about profound transformation.
Wow.
Lorenzo attributes this to the influence of Pluto, which is currently transiting their sign. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth, so it's often associated with deep, sometimes challenging transformations.
Pluto in Aquarius. That sounds intense.
It can be.
Yeah.
Lorenzo suggests that Aquarians might experience some unexpected career shifts or upheavals this March,
Okay.
which could feel unsettling at first. But he believes these changes are ultimately leading them towards their true calling, their higher purpose.
Okay.
It's about shedding old patterns that no longer serve them and embracing a new vision for the future.
So even if it feels chaotic or disruptive, these changes are ultimately for their highest good, according to Lorenzo.
That seems to be his perspective. He sees it as a cosmic push for Aquarians to step outside their comfort zones and embrace their full potential. He believes that those who are willing to go through this process of transformation will emerge from March stronger and more aligned with their true selves.
I love that it's like a cosmic upgrade.
Yeah.
And what about relationships for Aquarius? Does Lorenzo see any shifts happening there?
He does. Lorenzo predicts that Aquarians will naturally attract more genuine connections in March,
Fine.
while superficial or inauthentic relationships will tend to fall away.
Okay.
It's a time for them to surround themselves with people who truly understand and support their journey.
So a month of authenticity and alignment for Aquarius as well, it seems. Okay, so we've covered the 4 signs that Lorenzo considers to be the winners of March 2025.
Right.
But what about the other side of the coin?
Yes.
Who are the signs facing the toughest challenges this month?
Lorenzo names 4 signs who are likely to face some harsh realities and difficult lessons: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Pisces. He sees these signs as needing to confront some uncomfortable truths and make some tough choices.
Not the best news for those signs.
Right.
But hey, maybe these challenges are opportunities for growth in disguise. As they say, sometimes you have to break down to break through.
That's certainly one way to look at it.
Yeah.
Let's start with Taurus,
Okay.
the grounded and pleasure-loving earth sign.
Okay.
What's shaken up their world this March?
According to Lorenzo, Taurus's biggest challenge this month will be their resistance to change. They might be clinging to old habits,
Okay.
outdated beliefs,
Yep.
or relationships that no longer serve them, which could lead to some uncomfortable wake-up calls.
Why is March such a critical point for Taurus to embrace change?
Lorenzo believes that Taurus's reluctance to adapt could lead to stagnation in their career, financial setbacks, and even shattered illusions in their relationships.
Wow.
It's a wake-up call to reevaluate their priorities and make necessary adjustments.
So it sounds like March is pushing Taurus to step outside their comfort zone and confront some uncomfortable truths.
Exactly. And if they fail to do so, they risk falling behind and missing out on valuable opportunities.
Right.
It's a time for Taurus to embrace their inner strength and make bold decisions, even if it feels scary or unfamiliar.
It seems like a theme for March is taking action and embracing change no matter what your sign is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to Virgo,
Okay.
the meticulous and analytical earth sign. What's in store for them this March?
Well, Lorenzo predicts that Virgo will experience perhaps the hardest wake-up call of the year.
Okay.
The total lunar eclipse in their sign on March 14th is going to trigger an intense period of introspection, potentially leading to an identity crisis and emotional breakdowns.
Wow, that sounds rough. So should Virgos brace themselves for an emotional roller coaster this March?
It's certainly a possibility.
Yeah.
The eclipse could bring up past hurts, unresolved traumas, or deeply buried insecurities. It's a time for Virgo to confront their shadow self and face their fears head-on.
Yeah.
But while it might feel overwhelming at times, Lorenzo sees this as a necessary process of purification and growth for Virgo.
So it's about facing the darkness to emerge stronger and more whole on the other side?
Yes.
But beyond the emotional turmoil, what else is on Virgo's plate this March?
Lorenzo warns of potential burnout in their career.
Okay.
Virgos might be overworked, underpaid, and feeling unappreciated. It's a recipe for exhaustion and disillusionment.
So it's essential for Virgos to prioritize self-care and set healthy boundaries this month to avoid getting swept up in the chaos.
Absolutely. And on the relationship front, Lorenzo suggests that Virgos might realize they've been settling for less than they deserve.
Okay.
They might be giving more than they're receiving or tolerating behavior they wouldn't accept in a healthier relationship.
Ouch, that's a tough pill to swallow. But better to face the truth than remain in the situation that's not fulfilling.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. March is a time for Virgo to raise their standards and demand more from their relationships.
Okay, Virgo. Deep breaths and remember your worth. Now, we've talked about Taurus and Virgo, both earth signs known for their practicality and grounding. But what about Capricorn, the ambitious and disciplined cardinal earth sign?
Okay.
What's in store for them?
Lorenzo warns that March could be a humbling month for Capricorn. If they've been coasting on past successes or becoming complacent, they may find themselves being overtaken by the competition.
So it's time for Capricorns to step up their game and prove their worth.
Precisely. Lorenzo also cautions against reckless financial decisions in March.
Okay.
Capricorns might be tempted to take risks that could backfire, leading to unexpected losses.
Okay, Capricorns, time to play it smart and make those financial decisions with a clear head.
Yes.
But what about their love life?
Yeah.
Any advice from Lorenzo on that front?
Lorenzo suggests that Capricorns may be giving more than they're receiving in their relationships. It's a time to reassess the balance of power and ensure their needs are being met.
So March is a month for Capricorns to set boundaries and prioritize their own well-being, just like Virgo.
Exactly. It's about recognizing their own value and demanding respect from their partners.
All right, Capricorns, it's time to stand up for yourselves. We've covered Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Now let's move on to Pisces, the dreamy and compassionate water sign. What's Lorenzo's forecast for them this March?
Lorenzo warns that Pisces might experience a harsh reality check in March. The combined influence of Neptune and Saturn in their sign is shattering their illusions and forcing them to face the truth.
So it's a month for Pisces to wake up and smell the cosmic coffee.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Lorenzo predicts that Pisces might encounter confusion and unexpected delays in their career.
Okay.
It's a time for them to stay flexible and adapt to changing circumstances. They might need to let go of certain expectations and be willing to go with the flow.
But what about love? Pisces are known for their romantic hearts. Any love advice from Lorenzo?
Lorenzo suggests that if Pisces has been lying to themselves about a relationship, the truth will come to light in March. It's a painful but necessary process of letting go of what's no longer serving them. He also advises them to be wary of getting swept up in fantasies or idealizing potential partners.
So March is a month for Pisces to face their fears,
Yes.
embrace their intuition, and make choices that align with their authentic selves.
Exactly. It's about recognizing their own strength and creating a life that's truly fulfilling, even if it means letting go of some cherished illusions.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 signs that Lorenzo believes will face the most significant challenges in March 2025.
Right.
It's not all doom and gloom, though.
No.
Even in the midst of challenges, there are always opportunities for growth and transformation.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that astrology isn't about predicting a fixed destiny.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the energies at play and using that knowledge to navigate life's ups and downs more effectively.
So whether your sign is soaring to new heights or facing some tough lessons, March 2025 is a month for all of us to step into our power and create the lives we truly desire.
Okay.
But Lorenzo has also identified a group of signs that are on thin ice.
Okay.
Their fate in March really depends on the choices they make. We'll dive into their predictions in part 2 of our deep dive into Lorenzo's forecast.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about the signs Lorenzo has pinpointed as facing the most difficult challenges this coming March. But there's another category he calls on thin ice. These are the signs where their experience in March hinges on the choices they make.
Okay, so these are the signs where March could go either way, breakthrough or breakdown. It sounds like it could be a real turning point for them.
Exactly. Lorenzo emphasizes that their actions will largely determine their outcomes this month. He sees it as a time of heightened personal responsibility.
I'm definitely sensing a theme here. March 2025 is not a month for passivity, it seems.
Not at all. Lorenzo's entire forecast has this undercurrent of urgency. He's calling on everyone to step up and take ownership of their destinies.
Well, I'm ready to hear what's in store for these on-the-fence signs. Let's start with Libra, the sign of balance, harmony, and sometimes perhaps a bit of indecision.
Ah, yes, Libra's famous tendency to weigh all sides. It can be both a strength and a weakness, right? Lorenzo warns that March demands decisive action from Libra, especially in their career and love life.
So no more sitting on the fence for Libra this month. They have to pick a side.
That's what it seems like. Lorenzo suggests that avoiding tough choices or trying to please everyone could lead to missed opportunities and even regrets down the line.
So it's time for Libra to really tune into their own needs and desires and make choices that align with their heart, even if it means disappointing some people along the way. But what about the risk of burnout? Libras are known for their people-pleasing tendencies. Could this be a problem in March?
Lorenzo specifically mentions that. He urges them to prioritize self-care and set firm boundaries. March's energy is very assertive, so if Libra is constantly trying to accommodate everyone else, they could end up feeling depleted and resentful.
Okay, Libra's time to dust off those meditation apps and practice saying no more often. So if Libra can embrace decisiveness and prioritize their own well-being, it sounds like March could be a very empowering month for them.
Absolutely. Now let's move on to Leo, the radiant and confident fire sign. What challenges are they facing in this cosmic game of chance?
Well, Leos are known for their leadership qualities and love of the spotlight. I'm curious to hear what's putting pressure on them this March.
Lorenzo suggests that Leos are at a critical decision point in their careers. The choices they make now will have long-term implications for their success and fulfillment.
So no pressure, right? But seriously, what kind of career dilemmas might Leos be grappling with in March?
It could be anything from choosing between two job offers, deciding whether to start their own venture, or even reevaluating their current career path altogether. Lorenzo emphasizes the need for careful consideration and strategic planning. This is not a time for impulsive decisions.
Okay, Leo's time to channel your inner CEO and really think things through. But what about love and finances? Any advice from Lorenzo on those fronts?
On the financial front, Lorenzo advises Leos to be cautious with their investments and avoid impulsive spending. March is a time for strategic financial planning, not risky ventures or extravagant purchases.
Sound advice for all of us, really.
Yeah.
And what about matters of the heart for Leo?
Lorenzo suggests that March could test the loyalty of Leo's relationships. Hidden truths might be revealed, forcing them to reassess who they can truly trust and rely on.
Ooh, a bit of drama in the Leo love department. So it sounds like March is a month for Leos to step up as leaders make strategic decisions and surround themselves with genuine supportive people.
Precisely. Now let's shift our focus to Sagittarius, the adventurous and free-spirited fire sign. What's on their cosmic agenda for March?
Well, Sagittarians are known for their love of travel exploration and pushing boundaries. I'm excited to hear what kind of opportunities and challenges await them in March.
Lorenzo highlights the potential for exciting travel educational pursuits and even leadership opportunities for Sagittarius.
That sounds amazing. Sign me up. But is there a catch? It seems like there's always a catch with these predictions.
There is. Lorenzo questions whether Sagittarius is truly ready to seize these opportunities. Have they done the inner work and preparation necessary to step into these new roles and experiences? Are they just chasing novelty, or are they truly committed to pursuing paths that align with their soul's purpose?
So it's not just about saying yes to every opportunity that comes along. It's about making sure those yeses are aligned with their true goals and aspirations.
Exactly. March is a time for Sagittarius to check in with themselves, maybe do some journaling or reflection, and ensure they're not just scattering their energy, but focusing on what truly matters to them.
I love that. It's about being intentional with your choices and your energy. And what about love and career for Sagittarius? Any specific predictions from Lorenzo on those areas?
On the love front, Lorenzo suggests that casual relationships might fizzle out for Sagittarius in March. It's a time for them to be discerning about who they invest their time and energy in, and perhaps let go of connections that are no longer fulfilling or aligned with their values.
So quality over quantity for Sagittarius this month. And career-wise.
Lorenzo warns that Sagittarius could fall behind in their career if they don't step up and take ownership of their responsibilities. They might need to rein in their more impulsive tendencies and focus on completing tasks, meeting deadlines, and proving their reliability.
Okay, Sagittarius time to balance that free-spirited energy with a dose of discipline and focus. So we've covered Libra, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now let's talk about Cancer, the sensitive and nurturing water sign. How are they navigating this cosmic tightrope walk?
For Cancer, March is a month of inner conflict. Lorenzo suggests they're caught between the past and the future, struggling to let go of what no longer serves them, while simultaneously feeling uncertain about what lies ahead.
That sounds emotionally draining. It's like being pulled in two directions at once.
Yeah.
What advice does Lorenzo offer to help Cancer navigate this tricky terrain?
On the career front, Lorenzo advises Cancer to practice patience. Success might be delayed, or they might encounter some unexpected roadblocks. But it's essential for them to trust the timing of their journey and continue putting in the effort. Their hard work will pay off eventually, but it might take a little longer than they expect.
So it's a month for Cancer to nurture their dreams and trust that things are unfolding as they should, even if it doesn't feel like it at times.
Exactly. And in matters of the heart, Lorenzo predicts that a past relationship might resurface for Cancer.
Ooh, a blast from the past. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? I guess it depends on the relationship, right?
That's the question Cancer needs to ask themselves. Lorenzo doesn't offer a definitive answer, but he encourages them to reflect on the lessons learned from that past relationship and decide whether it's worth revisiting or if it's time to move on once and for all.
So it's a chance for Cancer to heal old wounds and make choices that support their emotional well-being, whether that means reconnecting with someone from their past or finally closing that chapter and moving forward.
Precisely. And finally, Lorenzo emphasizes the importance of setting boundaries for Cancer in March. Their sensitive nature might make them susceptible to emotional overwhelm, so it's crucial for them to prioritize self-care and protect their energy.
Okay, Cancer's time to build those emotional fortresses and say no to anything that drains your precious energy. It sounds like self-care is especially important for all of these on thin ice signs, considering the intensity of the energy this March.
I agree. Now, you might be wondering where your sign falls into Lorenzo's predictions. We've got a few more signs to cover, and we'll dive into those right after we hear from our sponsors.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Lorenzo's astrological predictions for March 2025. Before the break, we were talking about those on thin ice signs.
Right. Those whose experience in March hinges on the choices they make.
Exactly. Now let's look at the signs Lorenzo puts in the loser category. These are the signs facing the most challenging energy this March.
It's important to remember that even though Lorenzo uses this loser label, it doesn't mean these signs are doomed or destined for failure. It simply means that they're likely to face some particularly tough lessons and obstacles this month.
Right, it's not about predicting a fixed fate, but rather about understanding the potential challenges and opportunities presented by the cosmic energies at play. So, which signs fall into this loser category for March?
Lorenzo names 4 signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and Pisces. Interestingly, these are all signs known for their grounded, practical nature.
That is interesting. You'd think those traits would help them navigate difficult times. Why does Lorenzo see them as struggling this March?
I think it has to do with the specific astrological transits happening this month. As we discussed earlier, there are 2 eclipses, as well as Mercury and Venus Retrograde. These transits tend to disrupt routines, shake things up, and bring hidden things to the surface. And for signs that value stability and control, this can feel particularly unsettling.
That makes sense. It's like the rug is being pulled out from under them and they're forced to adapt to a new reality.
Exactly. And for signs that are used to planning things out and having a sense of predictability, this can be a real test of their resilience and adaptability.
So even though it might not feel like it at the time, these challenges could ultimately help these signs grow and evolve in ways they wouldn't have otherwise.
Absolutely. Sometimes the toughest lessons are the ones that teach us the most about ourselves.
So for those listeners whose signs fall into this loser category, how can they best navigate the challenges ahead, according to Lorenzo?
Lorenzo emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and acceptance. He encourages these signs to acknowledge their fears and insecurities, to be honest with themselves about what's not working in their lives, and to be willing to make changes, even if it feels uncomfortable.
So it's about leaning into the discomfort rather than trying to resist it.
Exactly, because resistance only creates more suffering.
And I imagine this advice applies to all of us,
Right.
regardless of our sun sign. Life is full of challenges, and sometimes the best thing we can do is surrender to the process and trust that we have the strength to overcome whatever obstacles come our way.
I agree. And I think that's a powerful message that Lorenzo's forecast conveys. It's not about trying to avoid difficult experiences, but rather about embracing them as opportunities for growth and transformation.
Beautifully said. So we've explored the winners, the ones facing some serious challenges, and those walking a cosmic tightrope. What's the overall takeaway from Lorenzo's March 2025 forecast? What do you think he wants us to remember, regardless of our individual signs?
What strikes me is the sense of urgency Lorenzo conveys. He's not offering vague possibilities. He's laying out specific themes, almost like a cosmic roadmap.
Yeah, it's definitely a call to action. He's basically saying, March is coming, ready or not. Are you going to seize the opportunities or get swept away by the tide?
That's a great way to put it. He even uses the term battlefield to describe the energy of March, emphasizing that it's a month of consequence.
So regardless of where our individual signs fall in his predictions, we all have a role to play in shaping our own destinies this March.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really empowering message. We're not just passive passengers in this cosmic ride. We have agency. We have choices.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Lorenzo's predictions, what stood out to you the most?
What fascinates me is how Lorenzo intertwines the personal and the collective. While his predictions are tailored to each sign, there's also this overarching theme of transformation and awakening that applies to everyone.
Yeah, it's like we're all going through a collective upgrade, but how that manifests for each of us will depend on our individual astrological blueprint and, of course, our own choices.
Exactly, and that's where the real magic lies. Astrology isn't about predicting a fixed fate, it's about providing insights and guidance so we can navigate life's journey with more awareness and intention.
So whether you're feeling excited, apprehensive, or somewhere in between about March 2025, remember that you have the power to shape your own experience.
And perhaps that's Lorenzo's ultimate message. Embrace the challenges, seize the opportunities, and step boldly into the unknown. The stars might guide us, but it's ultimately up to each of us to create the life we desire.
Beautifully said. And for you listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you most from Lorenzo's predictions? Are you feeling called to take action in any specific area of your life? How do you feel about the month ahead?
And if you're curious to learn more about your own astrological blueprint and how to make the most of the cosmic energies at play, we encourage you to explore the world of astrology further. There's a wealth of knowledge and resources available to help you deepen your understanding of yourself and the universe around you.
Until next time, keep shining bright and remember, the stars are always on your side.